Before we begin, I encourage you not to just listen once. Please revisit this video multiple times and truly make these words your own. Do not force yourself to reflect upon a grueling and painful day. Instead, empty your mind and seek sleep, quickly escaping that state where calm, rational thought is no longer possible. When life exhausts you and self-loathing sets in, sleep is the supreme remedy, far superior to gambling, travel, drink, or even forceful meditation. Sufficient sleep cures fatigue, restores a cheerful spirit, and grants you the strength to begin anew with the early morning light. Do not shorten your morning by sleeping in, nor squander it on worthless endeavors or idle chatter. Regard the morning as the quintessence of life, a truly sacred time. Evening is akin to old age. We become languid, talkative, and foolish. Every day is a little life. Every waking and rising, a little birth. Every fresh morning, a little youth. Every going to rest and sleep, a little death. As we grow older, we often try to clutch our desires more tightly. This stems not from greed, but from a quiet anxiety that our most precious asset, time, is running out. When the day draws to a close and fatigue washes over you, do not force self-reflection. Looking back on life through exhausted eyes only magnifies your own flaws and the shortcomings of others. Should you suddenly feel an overwhelming urge to deeply regret the past, know that you are not becoming wiser. It is merely a desperate signal that your body and mind are begging for rest. When we are brimming with vitality, we simply live. We do not dissect what has already passed. When you find yourself unbearably hateful, grand solutions like travel, forced meditation, or alcohol will offer no salvation. They will only cast darker shadows upon a weary mind. The deepest healing for an exhausted soul lies in the simplest of things. Close your eyes without a single thought and let profound sleep wash away all the burdens of yesterday. Man can do what he wills, but he cannot will what he wills. Generally speaking, the wise men of all ages have always said the same thing, and the fools, that is, the vast majority of all times, have always done the exact opposite, and so it shall remain. Wealth is like seawater. The more we drink, the thirstier we become. The same holds true for fame. Fame is something that must be won. Honor, only something that must not be lost. It is difficult, if not entirely impossible, to define the limits which our rational desires ought to place upon our possessions. Money is human happiness in the abstract. Therefore, he who is no longer capable of enjoying true happiness in the concrete devotes his entire heart to money. In most instances, it is loss that teaches us the true value of things. To find genuine peace, you must cease chasing the illusion of perfect happiness. Seek not to become enormously wealthy, but simply seek liberation from the agonizing fear of poverty. Do not pursue intense, fleeting pleasures, for they are inevitably trailed by suffering. The highest wisdom in life lies not in the endless pursuit of joy, but in the quiet, gentle erasure of pain. Life swings like a pendulum, backward and forward between pain and boredom. To preserve your peace of mind, it is crucial not to associate too closely with others and to secure as much time for yourself as possible. If you entangle yourself too intimately with people, your peace of mind is easily shattered. You become swayed by the will of others and bound by the wretched values of those around you. It is only in a state of true solitude that you can finally encounter your authentic self. Happiness, therefore, lies not in the external world, but deep within your own inner being. A person can forget everything, absolutely everything. There is only one thing they can never forget: themselves, their own existence. For the sake of our own personal growth, we require a mirror. Human words are the most durable of all materials. Generally, a person's face reveals far more, and far more interesting truths than their mouth. For the face is a compelling summary of all their thoughts and aspirations, while simultaneously implying everything the mouth is about to say. The premise that the outer reflects the inner, and that the face is a physical manifestation of one's entire character, is a highly plausible and therefore valid argument. The sheer fact that people yearn to see the face of anyone who achieves fame supports this. Photography satisfies this particular curiosity of ours most flawlessly. That modesty has come to be revered as a virtue was undoubtedly a tremendous advantage for fools, for it dictates that everyone is expected to speak of themselves as though they too were a fool. All the cruelty and agony rampant in the world is, in truth, merely the cumulative result of the will to live objectifying itself in all its various forms. The discovery of truth is hindered most effectively, not by the false appearances of things and the misunderstandings they cause, nor by the weakness of our reasoning, but rather by preconceived notions and deep-seated prejudices. Hatred is an affair forced of the heart, contempt an affair of the head. Hatred and contempt are fundamentally antagonistic and mutually exclusive. Indeed, a great deal of hatred is born from an unavoidable sense of respect for another person's superior qualities. Conversely, if you were to attempt to hate every miserable soul you encountered, it would demand a monumental effort. It is infinitely easier to simply despise them all. True contempt is the exact antithesis of true pride, and it is kept strictly concealed, so that no one ever suspects its existence. For the moment the person you despise detects your contempt, you inadvertently reveal a form of respect, an eagerness to let them know just how little you value them. This displays hatred, not contempt, and hatred inherently excludes contempt, serving only to compromise it. True contempt, on the other hand, is the unshakable, untainted conviction of another person's absolute worthlessness. In our youth, we spend our days as though we were living off an endless stream of interest. Yet, as the seasons of life inevitably turn, we awaken to the realization that we are spending our very principle, time itself. Should you find yourself growing anxious as you age, do not fall into despair. It is simply a testament that your soul has finally recognized the profound and sacred value of the time you have left. Do not fear walking alone. The quiet, solitary path is precisely where you escape the chaotic, demanding clamor of the crowd and establish true order within yourself. Genuine patience does not mean enduring the agonizing weight of others' expectations. It is the quiet, dignified respect for your own boundaries. In the profound stillness of being utterly alone, forced, you are not lonely. You are, at last, standing face to face with your true self. Nearly all of our misery stems from our utter inability to be alone. Those with hollow, fragile inner worlds constantly crave the deafening noise of the crowd. They are terrified of solitude, for in the silence, they are ultimately forced to confront the empty echo of their own being. However, a person of noble character and a wealthy mind deeply cherishes being alone. If you find no joy in shallow social gathering, consider it the greatest proof of your inner abundance. You do not require the meaningless chatter of others to feel alive. You are, in and of yourself, a complete universe. Do not lower your standards merely to fit into a world that fails to understand you. Walking alone is never a badge of loneliness. It is the ultimate, triumphant declaration of freedom. In the pure silence of solitude, you forge an unbreakable inner fortress. Lay down the crushing burden of reputation. What others think of you is nothing more than a passing whisper in the wind, a fleeting shadow incapable of touching your true essence. Just as a bite from a wild beast on a forest path does not diminish your human dignity, the harsh words and unjust judgments of others cannot strip away your true value. Your worth is an unbreakable truth, anchored deep within you. How utterly foolish it is to allow your life to be shaken by the transient evaluations of others. Reputation and honor are perhaps the most useless burdens humanity has ever invented. Though your inherent worth is an undeniable reality, you permit it to be placed on a scale, balanced by the whispers of strangers. Imagine walking down a tranquil road and being kicked by a stray donkey. Would you feel that your human dignity had been obliterated? Would you kick the donkey in return to salvage your honor? Of course not. The abrasive words, misunderstandings, and criticisms of others are indistinguishable from the kick of a beast. They are born of pure ignorance, not truth. Do not let the senseless noise of the world govern your inner peace. You are not a commodity on a shelf, passively awaiting the appraisal of passing customers. You exist solely for yourself, and that alone is more than enough. All unhappiness takes root the very moment you begin to compare your life to the lives of others. When you gaze upon those who appear wealthier, happier, or more beloved, the venom of jealousy clouds your vision, causing you to overlook the abundant blessings already held in your own hands. Look closely at your surroundings. Instead of anxiously counting those who walk ahead of you, cast your eyes upon the countless weary souls struggling far behind you. Your life is not a race. It is a magnificent, intricate mosaic. If you stand too close, you will see nothing but sharp edges, flaws, and a chaos of colors. But step back and observe from a distance, and the true, breathtaking beauty of your masterpiece is revealed. Do not let yourself be devoured by the minor missteps of yesterday. The future remains unwritten, and regret is nothing but a useless phantom. Cast off the heavy chains of comparison and simply walk your own unwritten path. When a fierce storm descends and misfortune shatters your carefully laid plans, do not waste your breath wishing it had never happened, hoping that an unalterable past might somehow rewrite itself. Is a relentless torture you inflict upon your own soul. Misfortune is a forced punishment all on its own. Do not compound the tragedy. by adding the bitter sting of self-reproach. What truly matters is never the tragedy that struck, but the quiet, enduring resilience that blossoms in its wake. Acknowledge the error, absorb its bitter lesson, turn the page, and decisively close the book. Human life is thoroughly paved with random errors and unforeseen accidents. You cannot command the wind, but you can certainly learn to navigate the storm with grace. Accept what is within your power, endure what you must, and absolutely let go of that which you cannot change. The world alters its shape entirely, depending upon the angle from which you choose to view it. Always choose the angle of peace.